Welcome to Mysteries Niger. I'm your host, Esther. Imagine waking up one morning and finding out your state government has decided to help 3,000 people get married. Not with a speech, not with a congratulatory message, but with 1.5 billion naira, roughly around $1 million. Beds, mattresses, food, clothes, dowry money, business capital, medical screening, even counseling. Everything needed to get 1,500 couples from "we want to marry" to husband and wife. Now imagine that is happening in a state where poverty is widespread. Millions of children are out of school and child marriage remains a big problem. Now it's no longer a wedding story. It's about money, poverty, religion, women, government intervention, and what society expects marriage to solve. Then, social media gets involved. Suddenly the story becomes, Kano just married off 1,500 minor girls to adult men. This is the story, Kano State's 2026 mass wedding. Quick announcement before we get back into today's case. Mysteries Niger officially has a home on the internet now. You can find us at mysteriesniger.com. And no, it's not just a pretty little website sitting there looking mysterious for decoration. You can actually find all the episodes there, listen directly from the site, read episode details, check out transcripts if available, and basically stalk the shows in a much more organized way. If you've got a story, a weird local legend, a cold case from your state that nobody's talking about, or just straight up what the hell situation, you can now submit it directly on the site. So pause this for 5 seconds or don't. Keep listening and bookmark mysteriesniger.com. I repeat, mysteriesniger.com. When you hear of mass wedding, what comes to mind? No one can really picture it, honestly, because weddings are supposed to be the couple's special day, the day where it's about you and your partner celebrating love. But what if your wedding day isn't special at all because you get to spend that day with 2,999 others? That's what the mass wedding felt like, looked like to every other Nigerians who saw and heard and read about it online, that 3,000 people met up at a location just so they could marry each other. If you're hearing this for the first time, fear not, it's not the first time. So far, this is the second time this particular state has done this. In 2024, the government decided there are lots of negatives in the country like prostitution, abuse, poverty, joblessness, and every other vices that's not benefiting the state. The only solution, or one of the biggest solutions to this problem, put two people in a room and let them just procreate. Keep them busy procreating. They bought mattresses, beds, grains, few household items, paid the bride price dowry for 1,800 couples to get married. I repeat, 1,800 couples. Because what can marriage solve? Children are a bundle of joy, so go make babies. The Kano State government told the general public the reason for that campaign was to foster happy family units and to support people who had the intention or desire to get married but couldn't afford to do so. Everyone were like, why? This is not right. Empower them instead. Empower them. Pay for healthcare. There are no healthcare. There's no education. Girl children don't even have opportunity to study because there are not enough schools. The boys are made to go to school because the girls are meant to tend the home, get married, procreate, and continue the cycle. People were upset. By the end of the day, we're like, if it helps, let it be. Let's just let them be. If it helps, it's supporting, it's curbing the crime rate. That's okay. This month, August of 2026, Kano State debuted another mass wedding for 3,000 people. The program involved 1,500 couples, and the wedding took place across Kano's 44 local government areas. The program was known as Auren Gata, which has been translated as privileged marriage or marriage supported initiative for people who might otherwise struggle to afford the cost of marriage. This wasn't an event where the government simply gathered a bunch of strangers and told them to pick partners. The people involved were reportedly applicants who had desire to marry, and about 5,000 people applied. Only 3,000 were selected, and the category we're told is it included widows, widowers, divorcees, bachelors, and spinsters. I repeat, categories included widows, widowers, divorcees, bachelors, and spinsters. So technically, it's people who aren't actively in marriage but would like to be in one. If you're widowed, you lost your partner and you'd like to have another, great. If you're divorced, you're no longer with a partner but would like to have a partner, apply. Or if you've never married before, also apply. Keep that in mind. The shortlisted applicants were tested as per what we're told. We have no idea the level of the tests that were run, but they were tested to make sure they were all fit when it came to their health. They were also counseled, after which they were all told to attend the event for the wedding. Now, the circulating videos of the mass wedding this year is very similar to one that happened 2 years ago, which the men are expected or requested to wear a white dress. It looks like is it called jalamir? I don't know what they're called. It looks like a robe, white long gown, and it has this embroidery design by the neck. It's a traditional attire, and they have a cap, a tribal cap that's red with a white embroidery that looks like a logo. The previous one was a stripe. This year it looks like some icon, a logo on the hat, the cap, and it's red. That's the touch of red for the husband's or the groom's attire. For the women, you can wear whatever you have, whatever you want underneath, but then they have this red coverall. I think it's called hijab. Yeah, they have this red hijab that they wear, and it covers their head, and it has an opening for the face, and it covers the rest of the body. It's red, so whatever you wear underneath doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day you're showing up in a red hijab. And the men wear white with the red cap, which is their touch of red. It looks like a convention. The video is circulating, it looks like a convention. The men have their seating arrangement, seating station, and the women also have their own seating arrangement, and they're all seated next to each other. The current governor of Kano State, Alhaji Abar Kabir Yusuf, spoke to the couples, addressed them, and stated clearly to them the reason why the initiative was formed this time around and the campaign was held was because of his manifesto during his campaign, that when he was running for office, he had promised the citizens he was going to facilitate this mass wedding to help the citizens who would like to marry and start a family to be able to do so. So that's his reason for doing it. We don't have like a full live stream of the event or full footage of the event to know how they picked their partners, or if you just walk around and partner shop for the best good looking one, or if you speed date in person real quick and choose who you feel vibes with, or maybe it's a lottery. We don't really know. This event was not limited to just a particular religious group in the country. It was open to all religious groups in the state. As long as you were a citizen and you'd like to apply and get married, it didn't really matter your religious beliefs, you were allowed to. Now let's talk about the number, 1.5 billion naira, about $1 million. That's the amount the state government allocated to the program. If you divide that 1.5 billion naira across 1,500 couples, that's roughly around 1 million naira per couple. Now look at this. Even if the government were to hand the money over to the couple, this is your life starter pack, pay for accommodation or start a business with this money, it would still not even last them a year. Maybe it would in the north because life is cheaper over there, but a year or two, the money would be up. Let me tell you, you have $1 million naira in Nigeria. You are dirt broke. Dirt broke. Don't go be breaking things at the grocery store because you're gonna pay for it. And you'll be broke with $1 million naira in your account. Give $1 million naira to a young adult, an 18-year-old. Drop them off in Lagos or Abuja or Port Harcourt. They pay for rent, money is finished. And the rent will be the tiniest container-looking studio apartment you've ever seen in your life. 1 million naira is less than $1,000. Just saying. So the government allocated less than $1,000 per couple to help them get married. That 1 millionaire would pay for the bed, the mattress on it, would pay for the bride price, the bride dowry, would pay for the little household things they're being provided, the grains like bag of rice and other stuff, oil, that's included. And then, according to spreading rumors, the wives are being given about 100,000 to support them to start a business with. 100,000. Walk into an eatery, it wouldn't even pay for a proper meal with appetizer and a drink. But according to spreading rumors, the wives were given 100,000 to support them in starting a business, another 100,000 towards supporting with the bride price, dowry, and then the bed, the mattress, the grains, and every other thing. On average, 1 millionaire per couple. But what happens after the wedding? What kind of business can the wives or the husband even start with 100,000 naira? 100,000 naira, less than $100. What business can you start with less than $100 and bank on raising your family with that money or with the business? What happens when they start popping babies like Skittles? This policy will do nothing but create dysfunctional families. Create children who are born into a life they never asked for. But the government would like us to believe this is them trying to create functioning household. They're trying to help people achieve their dreams of being married. Marriage is a beautiful thing. No one deserves to be alone for the rest of their lives. Everyone deserves a life partner. And if these people cannot afford it, of course, if they can receive help to do so, no one is saying that shouldn't happen. But mass marrying 1,500 people, let's say they all pop a baby once every year. That's 1,500 new people being born into a system that's doing nothing to help them to begin with. The government believes that helping people overcome this financial barrier to marriage can strengthen families and reduce social problems. Because in the North, marriage isn't just a private relationship. It can be deeply connected to family expectations, religion, social status, and economic survival. So when the government sponsors marriage, it isn't necessarily just helping two people who love each other. Heck, these people don't even know each other before they even meet on their wedding day. But they would like us to believe, and we're trying our best to understand what the government is trying to tell us, that this is one way to end all the negative vices. Because when people are single and remain unmarried, the government says they may be more vulnerable to prostitution, sexual relationships outside of marriage, abuse, and other problems. So they remove the financial barrier. People get married, give them a home, give the women some capital, and hopefully the family becomes economically stable on chump change. I understand completely. And the assumption here we're supposed to work with is marriage makes people more stable. 5,000 people applied, 3,000 were selected. That means approximately 2,000 applicants didn't make it into the program. How were the couples selected? Were applicants assessed based on earning abilities, income, or were they chosen based on their age, marital history, number of children, employment, housing, family circumstances? And most importantly, could someone say no? Before you wonder, why am I adding that? Could someone say no? Obviously, these people applied themselves. They wouldn't apply if they didn't want to get married. But you also need to think, there are some parents, no matter how old their child gets, no matter how old their daughters get, they still want to make decisions for their daughter. What if a parent decides, you're getting old, you need to get married now, and you're not ready to get married yet? Or they decide you're old enough to be married now, and you think you're not ready yet, you're not old enough. They go and apply. Could you say no? Tell the coordinators that you did not make this decision yourself. Because there is a young man that publicly announced in an interview on the wedding day, the joyous occasion day, that he just got married. He's so excited because he didn't marry an old lady. That in fact, he just got married to a 17-year-old girl. He just married a 17-year-old girl and was so happy. This video circulated and everyone were like, oh my God. The government organized a mass wedding to marry off minors to pedophiles. But if you watch the videos of the occasion, most of the faces we see are grown women, mature women that didn't look like minors. But again, only a few of them got screen time. Hundreds of them didn't get screen time. So we really don't know. How old were all the people who applied? For the men, we know majority, if not all of them, were of age. But the women, there are some videos you see, and the women look old enough. They look like they could be ready to be married. And then you see other videos, and they look like babies. They look like teenagers. They look so young. They're so shy, standing shyly beside their newly wedded husband, who is confident, feeling proud. This is my day. I'm finally a married man. Woohoo! But the girl stands there. She feels like she has no idea what's going on. This is just a convention she attended that's gonna end in some merriment, and should go back to her parents' home and continue her life obliviously. But then there's this guy right beside her, just chatting her up the entire time, and she's shyly smiling and responding. Now, the guy who gladly said he married a 17-year-old, people discovered he is reported to be about 44 years old. Technically, we don't have hardcore proof ourselves that the wife, in fact, he married is 17, because in the video, he wasn't standing next to his new bride. It was just him. And we have no paperwork, nothing to show the bride's age for us to confirm. Maybe he could be incorrect, he could be misguided, or just wished so hard that his inner thoughts came through, or it could be the truth. So I'm not one to go pointing hands at the government, as they have told us every single person, every single applicant who was selected to be married on that day were all of age, over the age of 18. And we have this husband who claims his wife, his new wife, is 17. I don't know.
This is my best marriage. Okay. And I'm not married widow. I'm married 17 years old.
So right now, I will do the right thing of believing the government until we have proof the wife he married, or proof of paperwork, marriage certificates showing young brides below the age of 18. And people have a good reason for feeling that majority of the brides there were minors, because this is a state with a big problem of child marriages, where children, babies, are alleged to be betrothed to old men who are older than their fathers, simply because their fathers owe these old farts money, according to allegations. So allegedly, I've never lived there, I've never experienced or witnessed it, but according to allegations, rumors, they are so used to, or it's a practice there, where people indulge in child marriages, where a young child would be forced to marry a man older than their father, and they would be pregnant the very minute they start menstruating, because they're already being abused before they even get old enough to reproduce. So the minute their body gets fertile enough, they're already popping babies. They are tiny with a big baby bump. By the time they're 18, they already mothered 5 children, 7 children. By the time they're 25, they already have kids who are teenagers, according to allegations. And now we're told that didn't happen this time. Everyone that got married were of age. So until I personally see otherwise, I will live in my Delulu paradise. The categories for applicants, we're told, included widows and widowers, divorcees, bachelors, and spinsters. But there's a man, an old man who looks like he's in his late 50s, early 60s. He was interviewed after the occasion, or during the occasion, and was asked how he felt. He was like, he's so happy. He's so happy to be there, that he's married again today. Married again. And when we think, oh, maybe he was divorced because this man is old, really old. Not that old. He's not that old. He looks like in his 50s or early 60s, but married again. Maybe his wife died and he's here to remarry, so he has someone to take care of him. And he goes, this is my third wife. My third wife. Smiling. He came to get married today for the third time, to take home with him his third wife. If 2,000 people didn't make the cut, how did this man, who's already enjoying 2 wives, make the cut to win himself a third wife? The Kano State HISPA board plays a central role in the program. It helped organize the initiative It participated in screening, it provided counseling, and it also has a role after the marriage. This is where things get particularly interesting. Hisba officials reportedly encouraged couples experiencing marital problems when they go back home to enjoy their marriage, if they happen to experience problems in the marriage, to return to the board for reconciliation. Because the couples are also told divorce is not an option. It was too good to be true, yeah? You cannot have a divorce. You're gonna come to this event, your wedding, with 2,999 others, meet your partner for the first time on your wedding day, get married, go home together, and be stuck together for the rest of your life. No divorce. No matter how much I'd like to blame the government, though, I really cannot entirely blame the government for coming up with this initiative, because it's not the first time. It's a first time unicorn activity where it's never happened before. We'd all be like, oh, is it gonna work? Let's not throw stones too hard because it might actually work, who knows? But this is not the first time. And these people willingly, to some extent that we're aware of, applied for this campaign. That begs the question. The people who got married through previous editions, what happened after the wedding? Did the business work? Did your husband remain employed or gain employment? Did your financial situation improve? Did you have children? Could you afford your needs? Did you ever regret participating? For the men, did the financial support actually reduce the burden of marriage? And also, if you had to do it again, would you? Because if your answers to all of these questions are yes, 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 1,000 times yes, I'd do it again, then it might be an explanation as to why these people seized this opportunity the second time around. In as much as I don't understand the situation, I don't have an opinion over it, and ultimately the government did not go out on the street, arrest people, threaten them, and force them to get married. The event wouldn't have happened if no one applied for it. But I'm also not blaming the citizens for applying, because in a world where you have nothing, at some point marriage seems like the only thing you can have or afford or deserve, because you're suffering, you're going through a lot, and sometimes having someone around when you suffer eases the stress compared to suffering alone. You feel like you're sharing the pain, the burden with someone else who understands exactly how you feel at all times. So that could be an explanation for why these people applied. No job, no employment, no education, no healthcare, poverty, no money, abuse left, right, center, no happiness. So this is one moment where they get to have a day of celebration where it's about them and they feel like they have a life partner to yeah, that explains why they did it. Which again makes me blame the government. Sorry, scratch when I said I don't blame the government. I do, because instead of getting them married, fix the problems, the root cause, create employment, education, schools. Did Kano State marry off 1,500 minor girls to 1,500 pedophiles? We have no proof of that. Most likely not. But were there some minors in the total amount of women who were married off to men on that day? Very most likely. But again, we have no proof of that. The Kano State government sponsored attempts to build families by removing the financial barriers to marriage. Maybe it works and we just don't know of it. Maybe it doesn't. But until someone follows these couples home and checks out what happens next, or the couples come out to speak up, we really don't know, and we'll probably never know. And until the government publishes clear information about who received money, how they were selected, their ages, and the long-term outcome of previous beneficiaries, the public is still being asked to trust a very expensive but yet super cheap promise. Because getting people married is easy. Building a society where people can afford to stay married is really difficult. So, peekaboo beats, they picked easy. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I know it's not true crime, it's just an absurd situation going on in the country right now. And we shouldn't talk about murder every day. I'm just a girl dealing with a lot of anxiety already, so this case was the perfect break I needed. But it's also a sad situation. Anyways, do let me know what you think of today's episode. I'm flabbergasted. Take care of yourself. Please stay safe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.